now we're going to do the joining layer, and let me just explain a few things to you that have been. If you have a look at this fuselage, there is no hole to the outside. Once these two halves are closed together, there's absolutely no hole anywhere through this fuselage that I can get in to be able to put a bladder inside or anything like that. So this whole thing is done as a pure hand laminate, nothing else, nothing fancy. It's just hand laminating. Now this has all been put in by hand, whipped out by hand. There's been no vacuum pressure pushing this down into the mold, nothing like that. This is purely a hand laminated thing. There's no vacuum assist, there's no bladder assist, there's no anything like that. So the method of joining this type of fuselage is, obviously I can't get in there to rub a joining thing in, and also I don't demold this from the fuselage and put the two together and try and join it. I do that all whilst it's in the mold, and it's worked for me very, very well over the years. There are other methods. I do use a bladder technique. I haven't built a bladder for this one yet because we're busy in the lockdown. We're on, I think, what are we now, day 15, 2 weeks into it, and I can't get any materials to make a bladder. So I've had to go back to my old method of just doing a wet or a dry or a wet laminate. So, and there's no assist in this at all, nothing at all. So in order to do that, I've got a piece of fabric, also the same thing again, cut, pre-cut, also at 45 degrees, and I'll roll this out. So it goes right from nose to tail, longer than I need. So we can just, again, using the 45-degree ability for these fibers to slide. As I'm pulling this wider, you'll notice that I'm pulling that piece in, but it's still a bit long, so we can just take a pair of scissors and we cut it off to the length that I need. Right, now I've mixed up some resin. Now it's a bit long on the nose as well. I can cut this also a bit shorter. I might have to trim it a bit as well as we go along. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the fabric in. This is the top of the fuselage on this side, and this is the top on this side. So I'm going to put the fabric in from just underneath the lip here, and let it stick out on the bottom. And on this side, I'm going to put it from just underneath the lip on the bottom and let it stick out on the top of the fuselage. So to do that, I'm just going to get that more or less to the shape of the fuselage, and very carefully, this is a bit of a delicate job. I need to get this fabric to go in to just a few millimeters, 1 or 2 millimeters below the edge of the mold on this side, and just keep working along. It's a bit tricky, and I'm using the stickiness of the previous layer to hold this in place for me whilst I do this. Yeah, we've got to get very carefully around the corner here. Got a nice fillet. In that little cusp thing that goes over the top of the leading edge of the wing on the fuselage, and just very carefully push this fabric down so it goes just below the edge. tricky operation, so it just takes patience, a bit of practice. Now, again, this fabric is cut at 45 degrees, and this is what actually makes this a little bit easier than if it wasn't cut at 45. If this was cut at 0.90, I would have fibers falling out here, driving me absolutely crazy all the time, because as you know, when you cut the fabric at 0.90, when you cut with the grain of the, or with the direction of the fiber, they can fall out all over the show and drive you nuts. Right, so here we're coming near to the tail, and we can just get that piece right into the tail section over there. All of it is pretty much stuck along there. Now I'm going to take my resin and I'm going to start wetting this fabric out, just making sure that this fabric can definitely go in to this bottom section, and it doesn't, I don't want bridging basically between the edge here and the bottom of the part of the fuselage here. Right, so we can just sop this up, get some resin on, and because this is already, the first layer is kind of still tacky, I don't have to do so much dabbing because the glass kind of sticks into position, so brush strokes like this work quite nicely. Not too hard, we don't want to distort the fabric. We just want to spread the resin out nicely and get it nicely into the fuselage. Right, so that's the whole leading edge section done. We'll come back. Now I'm going to just carry on along this whole fuselage, doing this, and I'll carry on when we get to the trimming and the next stage basically.